Hi, happy 2024. Thanks for tuning in to Gabbing with Girlfriends. And guess who's here? Hi, Gabby. My honorary co-host, it seems. How are you? How's 2024 treating you so
Oh,
far?
right now I'm tired and I'm also sweating.
Oh, you are? Is it hot there?
Well, I'm hot because, I had technical difficulties before I could speak to you, and that always makes me sweat.
Oh, yeah. Technical difficulties do create sweat, no matter what the difficulties are. But especially
Exactly.
technical difficulties because we're too old to really understand them.
Yeah, and I have like no
Me
patience,
neither.
and I just wanted to work immediately.
I just, yeah, it astounds me that there's some people that could just sit back, take a breath, and carry on, and then it's still not work, and they sit back again and take another breath, and they're fine. It's much
No,
easier to
no,
throw the
no,
computer.
no. I would like to throw and stomp
Yeah,
and break.
yeah. I don't understand patience. Two things I really don't
I don't either.
understand: patience and skiing. Why do people ski?
I don't know. You could break your leg and it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's so. That's another thing. How do people afford to ski? Seriously.
It's really expensive. There's lift tickets and you have to get there, you have to stay there. Maybe you need to even buy a place there because you're so obsessed with it. I
But
don't
the
know,
and the
but it's
clothes aren't cheap.
expensive. No, none of it is cheap. If you
Yeah.
don't want to own it because you're not going to go that often, you got to rent it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not, and then you could really get hurt.
Yeah, which makes it even worse. I'm sure I told this to you before, but Terry and I took lessons a couple years, like 4 years ago, when we were not children. I was in tears by the time somebody helped me put my boots on. That was a chore.
That
That's not
whole thing where
easy.
you can't move your ankles in the boots freaks
Yeah,
me out.
yeah,
And
horrible, horrible.
poor
So claustrophobic. You die.
look at Natasha Richardson died
Yeah,
skiing.
yeah,
That's terrible, right?
yep.
No,
Didn't
I'm not
Sonny
dying.
Bono die that way too?
He did as well. He skied into a tree, I
Yeah,
think, and Natasha just fell down, got a headache, and died.
yeah.
Yeah, not doing it.
No thanks.
No, thank you.
So do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I don't.
You're not even gonna fake it?
No, I don't. I mean, what am I going to make a resolution about? I mean, not even thought about it. I
Well,
mean,
I
I'm
did.
trying to deal with myself all year long. I just can't even think about it, to be honest.
I
What
think
is your
it
New Year's
well, I
resolution?
think I make this one every year, and I don't think it ever really lasts. But I think I start every January 1st saying and believing that I'm gonna be less judgy.
Yeah, well, that's working, I think. You've told me that before. I think that's true.
Like, I really like that one,
Yeah, I think that's true.
but
Yeah.
I don't really know if it works because the same day that I decided this, I became really judgy about somebody that I really like a lot and discovered that her husband hunts.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Well, you
what?
have to separate that
What do you
somehow.
mean? What do you mean?
You have to separate your feelings that you have for her, where you like her, and then just put the thing about the husband like over to the side. It's in
How?
a
How do you do
corner.
that?
I don't know. I mean,
Do you know anybody that hunts?
yes, a ton of people, because I'm from Montana. So, yeah.
And do you not care?
Well, I grew up with my father hunting, and he hunted according to the rules, and he and my mom ate everything. I, of course, didn't touch it, but they ate it. That was their food. They didn't have a lot of money. They grew their own vegetables. They got their own meat. They grew up in an era where you ate meat, you
Yeah,
know?
no, I get it. I mean,
And
that
that's
I
how you
get
did
a
it.
little bit more.
And my dad grew up in a family where there were 7 kids in the middle of nowhere, Montana, and that's how they got their food. And if they didn't get any, they didn't eat, right? So the concept was really different. It was never trophy hunting. We never had a deer head in my house or anything like that. You know what I mean? I didn't like it. And I remember one day I stepped out into the garage to go to school, and the deer was hanging there because, you know, they gotta, and I was just like, ugh, like most of the time I never had to see it. He hit it, but this was one time I had to see it. I mean, I don't need it, but apparently that's how my mother and father functioned. And I know a lot of people that do it. So I try not to pass judgment, but I do pass judgment on trophy hunting and stuff like that. I think that's just
I guess it's
gross.
different actually if you're eating it than if you decide to go out and kill a bear
I don't
before.
condone that at all. I don't think that's okay. My father never did that. Like I said, it was eating deer. When we lived in Alaska, he would get moose or, you know, occasionally got an elk, but it was, you have to apply to get licenses and they only give out so many. And if you don't get one, you don't go, you know, so.
Okay.
But you know, I also feel like though my father hasn't hunted in a very, very, very long time. Okay. And that's because they finally realized they can get stuff at the store. And I'm not saying that's better because they're still eating meat. It's just they don't have to do that anymore, right? Things change.
Mm.
So if you're talking about a friend of yours who is walking around younger than my parents now, of course, able to hunt. I mean, why? What's the sport in it? Killing something and actually watching it be killed? I mean, people that eat meat they buy at the grocery store, an animal has been killed for that. The difference is you didn't have to see it happen. I don't ever want to see it happen. So my problem would be putting the thing together where you can actually go out there and watch it happen. And then if you don't do it properly and correctly, the animal suffers. So the whole thing is weird to me. That's just me.
Me too. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Because I could go
I
on
could
and
go
on.
off on that. Yeah.
Okay, let's be more pleasant. But anyway,
Yeah.
so the same day that I said that I reinforced my wanting to be less judgy, I found myself being very judgy. But okay, I'm going to work on that. I am going to work on my
Yeah.
trying
Take
to
it on an
understand why people do
individual.
things they do.
Yeah. Take it on an individual basis, one step at a time.
All right. So no resolutions here. No. Did
No
you have a good
res.
holiday though?
Yeah, it was very quiet. We just hung out. We didn't go anywhere. It was fine. It was just what I wanted. I just wanted to stay home and be left alone and just chill.
Didn't you go to the beach or something? To a pub at the beach or?
We tried to, but it was closed. I think it's closed down now, which makes me very sad. So we just stayed home.
And then you were supposed to go someplace on Christmas Day, but didn't, right?
No, I didn't want to go anywhere. I just couldn't deal. I just couldn't deal with going anywhere.
If I didn't have my boys here and my grandkids here, I would have spent the day in bed. That would have
Yeah.
suited me just fine. I've been so, I don't know if it's because of the altitude or having had, at one period we were 12 people. And fortunately, 5 of them are grandkids. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't have coped. But yeah, I loved having all my family here. That was awesome. But if it weren't for that, I would have happily just slept through it.
Yeah. I just wasn't caring that much to do anything. We did go Christmas Eve. We went down to Redondo Beach to the Chart House because our pub was closed. So we did go there and the beach was really nice and it was really pretty. We went super early. We were there like 15 minutes before they opened. You know, we were there at like 2:45.
You're good at that, though. You're good at, you know when to be where. You're good.
2:45. They sat us right in the front and it was a set menu and it was like $85 a person and it was all meat. And we looked at the guy and we're like, we don't eat meat. And he's like, that's okay. You can pick something else. I'll deal with it. And I won't charge you the $85. So we got a
Awesome.
good deal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had Thanksgiving dinner in England and at a hotel because normally, as you know, there isn't Thanksgiving there, but had Thanksgiving dinner in England. And so I said, I want everything that you're offering, but no turkey. And so he said, why? I said, I don't want it. And I said, go ahead, you can give it to to them and
Yeah.
they can eat it. And he's saying, well, don't you just want to, you don't want to try any? And I'm like, no, I don't want it. And then, so Terry had the vegan menu, and they said risotto was one of the things on the vegan menu. And Terry said, I don't want risotto. He goes, yeah, it's good. And I said, he doesn't like risotto, doesn't want it, doesn't like it. And he said, oh, we could try it. I'm like, no, he doesn't. And this was a really nice hotel. And this guy's it's trying to tell us what to eat. It was bizarre. It was so bizarre. But he deducted the meat charges off my bill. But it was like it was, you would have thought I was speaking Martian to him. It was just didn't get why
Right.
I didn't
At this
want
point,
it.
just
And
bring me the risotto so that I won't eat it, and then you can take it back to the kitchen and throw it in the trash.
yeah, it's like some people just don't like certain things. It's just that
Yeah.
simple.
It must be a man thing. Glenn doesn't like risotto either.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he doesn't like it either.
I like it.
I like it too.
So I have questions today. We haven't had questions. We haven't been together to answer questions in a while.
Good. I love questions.
Me too. I just have to dig them out. If you had to survive a week without technology, here we go. How would you spend your time? I know what you're going to say. And how would you stay entertained? And I know what you're going to say.
I'm going to read books or
That's
write
not what
letters.
I thought you were going to say.
Or I'm going to go outside in the garden. Like there's a million things to do without technology.
That's what I thought you were going to say, that you would go garden.
Yeah, I'd go outside, or I'd swim, or I'd read, or I mean, there's just so many things to do. Yeah, it'd be easy.
I find that I take on tasks that I never finish. I decide to clean out a closet or clean out drawers or reorganize a food pantry or do whatever. And I get 3/4 of the way through it. And I don't know if it's an ADHD thing that I've self-diagnosed myself with or what it is. But I just can't ever finish anything. I kind of do something for 2 hours and then I have to move on and do something else for 2 hours and something else, blah, blah, blah. But if there was no technology in my life, and so no distractions, and I'm counting TV as a technology too, because that's
Me
technological
too.
in my house because I can't even
no
work
TV.
it.
Yeah,
I can't work it, so it must be technology. So no technology, I think I'd finish one of my thousands of unfinished tasks.
Yeah, I would do that too. Definitely.
It's because there's always a distraction. Either after 2 hours, it's like, oh, I think I'm going to look at my phone. Or after 2 hours, Terry's saying, do you want to watch so-and-so? Welcome to Wrexham. And I'm like, I'm here.
Or after 2 hours, my back is killing me and now I got to go lie down.
But you know what? That just started happening to me. Is that really true about your back?
Oh, yeah. My back
Me
is
too.
killing me right now. So I started exactly what you're saying. I started a closet clean out thing because I got to get this thing cleaned out because I got to have a plumber over. They got to drill through a wall. And it took me all of last weekend. I'm still not done, but it's like, I got to stop after a couple hours because my back is killing me. You know what I mean? The bending over and the moving. And then if I take everything out, where am I going to put it? Should it go to Goodwill? Should it go in?
But see, this just started with me with my back. I've never had back issues. And I don't wake up with a bad back. It's, if I am doing anything for any period of time, if it's walking a lot or exercising a lot, which doesn't happen often, but if it's anything that I do for a period of time, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that aches. And I have to stop and take a break.
That's me. I don't wake up that way, but I end up that way by the end of the day.
It's nature's way of saying, slow down, you're old. Yeah. Definitely an age thing.
Definitely.
Okay. So Riku, the foodie, asks, share a quirky habit or routine you have that brings a surprising amount of joy or efficiency to your day.
Oh, I don't think I am very efficient. That's the problem. I think I spin my wheels a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
I don't consider myself extremely efficient.
But I really like that question, though.
Yeah,
I do too, and it actually makes me pause to think what I could do to like. What kind of routine I could do?
To make myself?
I've got one.
Yeah.
I time things like if I'm working, I'll make a mental note. I'm going to work from 12 to 2. And I do everything I do in my life is by time. Like I'm very, and
Yeah.
not that I finish it. So I don't know if this falls under the efficiency category because I'll go, okay, I'm going into the food pantry for 20 minutes now, but everything's kind of timed. That's really quite bizarre. But yeah, so that probably really doesn't answer this question because it doesn't help in an efficiency way. But because I do things timed, it means I attempt them anyway. Does
Well,
that make sense?
you're planning your day. So
Oh yeah, that's the word.
that is a
Planning.
type of efficiency. That is a
Schedule.
type of efficiency, having a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I don't do that, so I need to get on it.
yeah, it works. Again, I don't finish things, but it makes me start it. Okay. Riku the foodie again says, share a piece of advice that has had a profound impact on your life.
A piece of advice?
Yeah.
Gosh, I need to think about that for a minute. There's probably more than one for me. I always love that saying, no good deed goes unpunished. I've always
Because
liked
it's
that.
very true.
It's very true.
Honestly, something happens in my life probably once a month that makes me say it because it's true.
Yeah, it's true. And I remember the first time I ever heard that, I didn't really understand what it meant until something happened and I was like, that's what that means.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, yeah.
I
like
think,
that.
I don't know if growing up and your mother always said, make sure your underwear is clean in case you have unclean underwear in case anything happens to you.
My mom always said that.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
I wonder if it was an age thing because I don't believe moms today. I'm going to have to ask my daughter-in-law if she says that to her girls. Make sure you have unclean underwear.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask some of my younger girlfriends if their moms said it to them.
I bet it was
my
different,
mom
but they don't.
always said it. Yeah, yeah.
I bet they don't. But definitely had an impact on my life. I've never worn dirty underwear.
Me neither. Every day, that's going in the laundry. Even
So
if
there
I've had
you go.
it only on for 5 minutes, it's often in the laundry.
Okay, the same person asks, if you were to create a time capsule representing your life, what 3 items would you include?
Oh, goodness. A time capsule.
That's a good question, too. She's good.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm a time capsule. What would I include? I don't know, the crown from my prom queen in high school, and maybe, I don't know. I don't even know if I have my yearbook, so that is kind of.
Oh, I do. That's a good one.
If I have my yearbook, I could throw that in there.
I do.
And then something more recent. I don't know, maybe there's a photograph I have of myself from the 90s that I like. That would be about it.
That's perfect.
So it's all younger stuff.
That's perfect. I like the yearbook thing, but I think I would maybe do my birth certificate, my wedding certificate, my marriage license, or whatever that's called, and my kids, so that's 2, birth certificates. That pretty much summarizes my life.
Yeah.
Huh. Good question, though. Ashna Riku asks, if your pet could talk, what do you think they would say about you when you're not around?
When is she coming back?
Well, that's
I want
definite.
treats.
They definitely say that.
When is she coming back? I want treats.
Mine,
and why does she keep trying to push me over in the bed every night? And this is because instead of laying vertically, my dog lays horizontally and takes up all of the bed. And so I'm constantly trying to push him down. So that's what he would be saying.
I think mine would say, cumulatively, they would all get together and say, they would come up with something that they know would make me crazy. So I think they would all say, the cats would say, where can we leave a fur ball? And they would leave it in the most unobvious place. that I would be bound to step in it. And my dogs probably would have said the same thing. How come that stingy woman never gives us many treats? Dad does. Dad gives us all the treats we want.
Exactly.
So,
Oh, that's it. Dad does. She
yeah.
always says that's enough carrots, but he doesn't.
Yeah, totally. That's definitely a guy thing, along with the risotto.
Yeah,
Guys don't understand that it's not healthy for animals to
exactly.
be
It's
triple
not
the
healthy.
size they were supposed to be. Some of those treats are pretty fattening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. The same person asks, if your life had, this is good, if your life had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh gosh, these are all too hard for my
I
brain
know I could
today.
never, if I was asking kind of a stranger questions, I could never think of things this sophisticated.
This is way
These are
too
very mature.
very mature and very, very like thought out.
Yeah.
And a theme song for me, like that could just be any random song for me, depending on what mood I'm in. I mean, I don't know, the theme to Bye Bye Birdie because I wish I was Anne Margaret, or I don't know,
See, I
Billy
couldn't even give
Idol's
you an answer
Money
that
Money.
quickly.
I mean, I just don't even know how to do that. I'll just say that Money Money song by Billy Idol, only because when that song came out, I had a girlfriend who I worked with, and she said, every time I hear that song, it reminds me of you. And I have no idea why it reminded her of me. So I always thought that was funny. So I'll go with that.
Okay, well, mine would have to be Gloria.
Of course.
So
Because every time I hear that song, I think of you.
that would have to be that. And I don't think a week goes by where somebody doesn't sing it to me and says, has anybody ever done that before? I'm like, yeah, think.
You think?
Yeah, so that would have to be the why
Yeah.
answer to that is obvious. So that's mine. Okay, next by Dior, not war, baby. Oh, I just made up the baby, BBY. I guess that's what that means. A great podcast topic would be nighttime routines. Are there any weird sleeping habits you have? I don't know. I
No.
don't know if sleeping habits make sense, but nighttime routines make sense.
Nighttime routine is
Besides going to bed, like you put a mask on, not like a scary mask or something.
I
To
mean, I
frighten your
wash my
husband.
face and put, lotions and potions on it. I do that, but no, I don't go all out with, like those masks or those pad things that I know people do. I probably should, but I don't.
I know somebody that every morning, those sticky things you put right here,
Yes.
she does one of those every morning. Like, what doesn't even, she sits there with her coffee and has these things on and swears by them. She just
Well,
gave me some, but I haven't tried it yet.
I've had them and I've tried them and I really like them. They feel fantastic. It's just that I don't keep up with it. I don't keep up with it. I just don't do it.
None of it. I can't do it. I mean, I just can't keep up with any
Yeah, I
kind
can't
of
keep up with
beauty
it.
routine. What?
I do some beauty, but I mean, I don't do that. I wish I did more. Let's put it that way. I would look in the mirror and go, I should be doing more. Okay, I'm going to go. Like, I should do more.
Yeah, I don't really think I have any nighttime routines. My nighttime routine is just going to sleep. I'm pretty
Yeah,
simple.
it's lying down,
Yeah,
going, thank you,
that's my
Jesus,
nighttime.
let me lie down. The day
Yeah.
is over. I need some shut eye.
Yeah, that's mine too. It's a good question. Meow Kitty Purr asks if you would have on any guest in the world from any time period, past or present, who would you invite onto the podcast?
Oh, gosh. That is just so many people.
Well, I'm going to do the first one that comes to my mind. First one
Yeah.
that came to my mind would have to be Princess Diana.
Gosh, that would be wonderful.
I
would love to
so
have Princess.
much
Oh, I
to
wish I knew
hear what
Princess
her
Diana.
take on that life was. Besides, I see somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Besides,
it's someone's head.
hello,
Hello, that's Miss Poppy Mouse Hughes.
hello. Oh, cute. Oh, I could just munch him. Her. But yeah, I mean, we all know things she said, and we all know things that she went through in her life, and we all know what kind of life she lived to whatever the public was made aware of. But I would really love to know how she
Yeah.
did what she did and how amazing of a woman she was. I mean, she just,
She was incredible. You know, first of all, the whole thing with AIDS,
yeah,
going to the
yes,
hospitals and talking about, and then I didn't
landmines, all of it.
I didn't even know there were landmines until I saw her. I can still remember the outfit she wore. You know, I mean, I didn't even know there were landmines
No, I know what you
lying
mean. It's like
around until she
she
told
brought
us.
she brought so much awareness to the world, just to the world.
Yep. I agree. I would love. I mean, when she died, I was so sad. I was like, I was devastated. I mean,
Everybody was, right? Even if you're
everybody
not a
was.
royalist, everybody felt
Everybody
that.
liked her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she would be great to have on a podcast. Wow.
Um, do you like the royal family? Today's royal family?
To be honest, I don't have any problem with them one way or the other. I do like Kate. I've always liked Kate. I think she's absolutely perfect for the job. She's got the right look. She's pretty, but she's pretty enough, but she's not too pretty. She looks intelligent. She always dresses nice. She seems like she's a good mother. She seems like her
Yeah.
kids are good. And she seems like she has a good relationship with her husband. It
And
seems
I
like
don't think
they,
it was on purpose. I don't
I,
think
no,
she
I think
went
they
after him on purpose.
oh gosh, no. I think that they met and they hit it off and they just did it normally. And I think they're a good foil for each other because
Me
I'm
too.
sure they are both under enormous amounts of pressure all the time. And they probably have a relationship where he can go, oh my God, I cannot believe I have to go there tomorrow. And she can go, now just relax, you know, and they can both
Yeah.
do that. You know, they
Yeah.
don't fuel each other's fire. I think that maybe Harry and Meghan, I think they kind of fuel each other's fires, you know, instead of like putting some water on it, they just add gasoline. And I don't think that's always very helpful. So
Have you
that's
ever
just my
watched
opinion.
Suits?
Have I what?
Watched Suits
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've watched Suits. Yeah. I used to watch it.
before she became
Oh yeah, before a long, you know, years
like
ago
I
when it
could
first came
so many
out.
people recently, Risa for one, have told me how much they enjoy it, that they've started watching since they've been married. I just couldn't bear to watch it now.
Oh, see, I watched it a long time ago when it first came out. My father and I watched it because it's a good show. I mean, it was a
Yeah,
good
everybody
show.
says that.
It's a
Everybody
good
says it, and I
show,
just
and I
can't do
love
it.
Gabriel. I love Gabriel Mock. He's great.
I used to
So,
manage his brother. Did you know that?
oh really? Oh my
Mhm.
God, Gabriel Mock. He's cute. He's a hot potato. Yeah. So yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is, well, this is easy for mine. What are your hidden talents?
Hidden talents. I don't know. Maybe diplomacy. Maybe
Oh,
I'm, you know, maybe
oh, that's a good one.
diplomacy. I don't think it's anything like I make really good beaded necklaces or I crochet. I don't think it's any kind of talent like that.
Well, mine's an easy one. None. I have no hidden talents. If there's anything I'm any good at, I make sure everybody knows. No hidden talents. None. Yeah,
I mean,
I can't
I
sing, I
can cook
can't dance,
okay.
I'm not a good cook, I mean, nothing, absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
I can cook okay. I can cook all right. So, I mean, I'm not a chef or anything like that, but I can, you know, hold my own.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness to myself, when I do really try, I could pull off a decent meal. I just, yeah, I'm just not the best, or I'm not a creative cook.
And I think I can do that. And I can also make things look nice. Like, I would say I have an eye. In other words, if you came over for dinner, I could make everything look
That's a
nice.
talent.
You
That's
know what I
totally a
mean?
talent.
I would make everything look good.
And do you know what? I am just the opposite there. I was having some people, this is kind of funny, but you probably had to see it for it to even remotely be funny. But I was having some people over the holidays, just a few neighbors. And I bought these cookie cutters. One's a snowflake, one's a snowman, and one's a Christmas tree. And so I had these sandwich things, and I thought, oh, that'd be really cute. I'm going to make anyway, but it didn't really come out because the bread isn't really made to be cut by a cookie cutter. And so I knew it was pretty unsightly, so I was just going to eat it. But so I said to my son, I said, think this looks okay? Should I do a plate of these? And he very seriously said, I don't really know. I don't, probably with everything going on at the moment, I don't really know if it's politically right. And I said, what are you talking about? Because it's unsightly? He said, well, I don't really know if people want to eat a Star of David. He thought my snowflake, that's how bad it came out. Star of David.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know if people want to eat an ugly sandwich. And I was like, how is that political?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. And the whole, I wasn't going to serve it anyway. I just did it as an experiment, just to see what it was like.
Experiment,
he was very serious. He really thought that's what that was. And he didn't get it. So
that's pretty funny.
Anyway, okay, Recovery for a Booty ask, what was your biggest choice you've had to make? How did you think your life would have been different if you had made a different decision?
Well, I don't think I've ever had a decision to make that was going to affect me negatively. Or in other words, like I've never been in the position of, Sophie's choice. I mean, that's never happened to me where, it's more like, I think, at least for me, every decision you make, when you're making it, you don't realize how it could affect your life. In other words,
you don't realize the potential downfall.
Right. Or the upside. For example, you take a new job. You are doing that based on the assumption, hey, I might get paid more money. I might get a promotion. I might like this job better. And you take this job. And hopefully all those things happen because you left a job you already had. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really think I've had decisions to make that would have hurt me profoundly. Like I moved to California and that went really well for me. But if it hadn't, I just would have moved somewhere else. You know what I mean? I've never had a decision to make.
Even that, when you sit back and think, what if you never would have moved to California?
Oh, my life would have been hell.
But I think that's what the question really means. What if? Like getting married's a big deal. What if I would have never met my husband and gotten married? Would I
you could have met
still
somebody
be in
else.
St. Louis? What?
You would have met somebody else, maybe, or you would have been single. But either way, your life would have been okay because you can't know what you don't know. You only can base it on the decisions you've made to date, right? I mean, sure, if I hadn't moved to California, I would live somewhere else, and I'm sure my life would be okay, simply because I'm just not a miserable person every day. It just wouldn't be what it is now, so I can't compare it to something that I don't know, but I'm glad I made the decision that I did to move here.
Why did you? I forgot. I know I knew this, but why?
Because I wanted to live in a really big place. I either wanted to live in LA or New York. I wanted to be where there were a lot of people and something going on.
Who'd you go there with?
I went to LA with a roommate, a girl that I worked with. She had friends out here and we just decided we're moving to California.
And is she still your friend?
I haven't talked to her in many, many, many years. She actually left like 2 years later or so, and she moved. So I haven't seen her in decades, but I stayed. So it all worked out.
You stayed and lived to tell the tale.
I can say, though, what's interesting about that question is I see a point in my life where there was one decision that somebody made that affected my future. This story is when I was in the 5th grade, a girl that I didn't know in Virginia was doing a project, her class. Each student had to do a report on a state. And she got a state that she thought was boring. So she asked to switch with the boy next to her and got Alaska. And her teacher knew the librarian at my school, and they decided to give, basically, we became pen pals because of that. And I'm still friends with this girl. And it's her that told me about the college in Virginia that I went to. So I went to Virginia for college, and then everything happened after that. But all because she decided to switch states for the school project. If that hadn't happened, if she hadn't done that, I wouldn't have known her. I would never have known about this college. I might have stayed in Montana. Like, it's really hard to know. But that moment of her doing that is what actually led me to where I am today, because I made the friends from college that I still have. I ended up out here. I mean, like, everything followed a path from her, choosing Alaska. So I find that to be interesting. It's what she did. It's not what I did.
But that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. We have tons more questions, but we should save them for another time, because if we keep talking too much, we're probably going to get boring. I can't listen to anything too long. So I'm assuming most people can't, because my attention span's this big.
They got
we have
things
loads
to do.
more, so we have to do it again really soon before the questions become really old. Did you take your Christmas tree down yet?
Not yet. I'm going to do it this weekend.
But my husband told me that you're not supposed to do things like that until either today or tomorrow, because it's the 12th night, which is why the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, Glenn told me something too about when I'm supposed to do it, and I'm like, it's going to happen when I can do it.
But I think that must just be an English thing.
It is an English thing. Yeah. It is, because I mean, I got to be honest with you. One year I left the tree up till Valentine's Day. Okay.
You put hearts on as the ornaments then?
I just left it up until, I couldn't handle it anymore.
Well, you should have just left it up until the following Christmas.
I wanted to, but Glenn was losing his mind.
Oh no, that would be terrible. I mean, it's just, submarine. And you don't have magpies in California, but you know what they are?
Yes.
And do you do, like, have you ever been someplace with Glenn, like in England, and he sees one and he salutes?
No.
But did you know that's what English people do?
No, I didn't know that.
If an English person, and I do too, because I lived there long enough that this superstition rubbed off on me, that it's 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy. And it actually keeps going, but I don't know the rest of it. So whenever you see one magpie, English people either salute or they wave, or Terry says, "Hello, Mr. Magpie, how's your lovely wife?" And that counts. I don't know why, but
I'll remember that.
Yeah, but ask Glenn about it. I salute.
I will. I'll salute.
So on that salute, we'll say goodbye. This was lovely speaking to you, and I wish you'd come visit me, because I miss you.
I miss you too.
Come visit. But I'm going to text you about that.
Okay, text me, my little magpie.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in today, and be sure to follow Gabbing with Girlfriends on here so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on social media for more fun and in-depth conversations. Thank you.